Hey everybody, JC here with another T&I toy review. And today's review is in association with JediInsider.com, your #1 news source for everything Star Wars. And for today's review, we're going to be taking a look at the new S.H.Figuarts Star Wars Stormtrooper figure from Tamashii Nations and Bandai. Now this figure comes packaged in the same style of packaging we've seen with the other Star Wars figures from the S.H.Figuarts line. We've got the silver, kind of black and silver metallic highlighted packaging, window box packaging. You've got the metallic silver border around the window. You've got the Star Wars logo on the window along with the S.H.Figuarts logo and a little kind of bio about S.H.Figuarts. And then down below you've got the name of the character. Now this packaging is much more sleeker than like the packaging that came with the Darth Vader figure. That was a wider packaging, probably because Vader has a little more accessories and has the big cape and everything. It's definitely a bit sleeker than that packaging. And it's also sleeker than the Hasbro's Black Series packaging. You can see here, this is much more compact. So I kind of like that it's smaller packaging, takes up less space. Back, we have some images of the figure, image of a bunch of Stormtroopers, and then another image of 2 Stormtroopers with the S.H.Figuarts Darth Vader, and then a bunch of language that I can't really read. Okay, so here's a look at the figure outside of the packaging. Now, I have little doubt that this is going to be a pretty nice figure. It's a 6-inch scale type figure, similar to Hasbro's Black Series figures. So the real question I have, and this is an import figure, that means if you want to get this figure here in the United States, it's going to cost a fair amount of money. These figures are probably going to cost you in the range of between $60 and $70. So the real question I have with this review is this figure nice enough to justify the high cost over, say, just getting Hasbro's 6-inch Black Series Stormtrooper figure, which costs like $20. So, first of all, this is going to be kind of a comparison video primarily between the Black Series Stormtrooper and this new S.H.Figuarts Stormtrooper. So, first of all, this figure is basically, paint applications are pretty simple. You've got the pearl white for the armor, and then you've got the black mixed in. You've got the little blue highlights on the helmet, but otherwise that's pretty much it for paint applications. Exactly the same as what we have seen with Hasbro's 6-inch Stormtrooper figure. Now, one difference between the two figures is the Black Series figures seem to be a little bit bigger or bulkier. They're about the same height, but the Black Series Stormtrooper from Hasbro is just kind of, it's a wider figure, wider head. So the S.H.Figuarts figure is a little bit more sleeker in its design. So the S.H.Figuarts Stormtrooper comes with a blaster for an accessory along with 3 different pairs of hands. So the blaster is a very similar design as to what we see that comes with the Hasbro one, similar to what we see in the movies. It's a little bit smaller than the Hasbro one, but again, overall sculpting, exact same kind of, just that kind of black plastic, same material basically. So overall, the designs are very similar between these two rifles. The Hasbro one, again, is a little bit bigger. You've got the magazine on the side for the S.H.Figuarts one is a little bigger, a little more detailed there on the magazine. But for the most part, I would say these are pretty similar to one another. So this figure comes with multiple pairs of hands, which obviously the Hasbro one does not. So you've got basically a pair of hands to hold the blaster, both left and right, and it's got a kind of the trigger finger sticking out. Then he's just got a pair of open hands that he comes with. So like if you have one hand holding the blaster with the handle, then you can have the other kind of open hand holding the barrel of the blaster for a 2-handed pose. And then he comes with 2 closed-fisted hands as well. Now, one thing that the Hasbro Black Series Stormtrooper figure has that the S.H.Figuarts does not is the holster for his weapon on his belt, attached to the belt. So they both have belts, and on the S.H.Figuarts one, it does fit loosely on the figure. It's not removable, but it is a separate piece from the figure. But there's no holster for the rifle, unlike the Hasbro one that did have a holster. And I would also say that the Hasbro one, the detail with the pouches and everything is just a little bit more, I think, a little more detailed than what's on the S.H.Figuarts one. So this figure stands at just about 6 inches tall, maybe just a hair under 6 inches. Little bit shorter than the Hasbro Black Series figure, but they're pretty close to about the same height. Now the biggest difference, as I mentioned before, between the two figures is the Hasbro one is just kind of a wider base and a little bit bigger head. Now here's the S.H.Figuarts Darth Vader figure, and you can see Vader's a little bit taller, but I would say this Vader figure is actually a little bit on the small side. I think the Vader should stand a bit taller than the Stormtrooper, than these two are. Now here's the Hasbro Black Series Darth Vader, and you can see that Hasbro's Vader is taller, and I think these figures are in better scale with one another. Same with the Rebel Tech Darth Vader, it's taller, and I think these two figures are in decent scale with one another. Just for some other comparisons, here's Hasbro's Force Awakens First Order Stormtrooper, and again they're about the same height. The Hasbro one's maybe a little bit taller. And then here's Hasbro's Han Solo figure from A New Hope, and Han Solo again is a little bit taller, but they're pretty close to about the same height. And just for one more comparison, here's the Rebel Tech Boba Fett figure, and they're again about the same height, so I would say scale wise between these are pretty good. Okay, so articulation on this figure is good. It's probably the one area that gives it the biggest advantage over Hasbro's Black Series Stormtrooper figure. The head is on a double ball type joint, so I'll pop the head off, and you can see there's movement there at the top of the neck with the ball joint itself. You can get some up and down movement there, and then there's also movement on the lower neck of the joint, so you can move it and up and down and side to side. And the head just pops on, and so you can see he's got good range of movement. He can turn his head left to right good. He can look down a little bit, not a whole lot with the way the helmet is sculpted, but he can look up some, and then you can kind of pivot the head to the left and to the right. So again, overall good movement, kind of move the head forward and backwards a little bit. So overall good movement with the head. Now I like what they've done with the shoulder joints on this figure. So they've actually articulated the shoulder pads on the armor so you can kind of lift them out a little bit. And then the shoulder joints themselves kind of pull out from the figure as well. So it gives you good rotation, and then you can even get the arms all the way out even with the shoulder pads of the armor. So I like that. It's got a bicep swivel. It's got the swivel at the lower arm as well. Single hinged elbow, so you can bend his elbow about that much. And then the hands are attached with little small ball joints, so that allows, makes it easy for you to switch the hands in and out. And the hands have, you can swivel the hands, and then there's hinges on those ball joints. And you can actually turn those little ball joints inside the arm, so you can have the hinge so it gives the figure up and down movement with the hand, or you can turn it so it has side to side movement with the hand. So I like that. Midsection is attached with a ball joint, so that gives you rotation there at the midsection. A little bit of down crunch, but not a whole lot, and you can look up some. Also, you can pivot to the left and to the right there at the midsection. He's got a waist swivel. Legs are attached with your standard ball hinge joints. Now, he can do the splits. If you turn the armor, you can do the splits pretty good. He's got a thigh swivel there at the upper thigh. And he can get, again, if you turn the leg a bit, he can get his leg forward good. And he can do his leg back about that much. The armor on his butt kind of limits how much back you can get the figure. Double hinged knee, but the way the armor pieces are sculpted, the armor on the lower leg kind of meets the armor on the upper leg, and so that does limit how much you can bend the knee. So you can bend his knee about that much. And then he does have an ankle type pivot joint. He's got rotation there at the foot, and he's got some up and down movement with the foot and a little bit of a pivot. And then he's got some toe articulation, though not a whole lot of movement with the toes. And then no peg holes on the bottom of his feet. So that's my review. Overall, I like this figure. I think it's a well-constructed figure. I like the articulation on it. As far as whether it's worth paying the extra money for, the $60 or $70 as opposed to the $20 for Hasbro's Black Series, it's hard to say. I would say probably overall, probably not. But it really kind of depends on how important the extra articulation is. You know, this figure does allow you to get it into better like poses with firing the rifle and stuff. So, you know, it's just got a little bit wider range of movement. So that's its biggest advantage. And so it really depends on how important that is to you. You know, but I would say overall, you know, between $60 and $70 and $20, you know, the difference in the two figures is not drastic enough that I would say overall it probably wouldn't be worth the extra cost. But, you know, if you're really into that extra articulation and movement of the figure, or you just like the S.H.Figuarts in general, then I definitely think this is a nice figure and worth adding to your collection. So this figure is out now. You'll have to buy it. It's an import figure, so you'll probably have to buy it online. It's sold out at places like Big Bad Toy Store, but you can still find it at other places, places like Amazon and other e-tailers that still carry, you know, that carry the S.H.Figuarts. We'll have a full gallery of images of the figure over at JediInsider.com. There's a link in the description below. And as always, leave a comment. Let us know what you think. If you're so inclined, please like the video. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. And until next time, I'll catch you later.